I'm not sure this one is DMCA.
YouTube strike.
Anyway,
sure.
bringing all you guys in. Hello, Conman.
This is
We-
George
we-
Lucas again.
We got George Lucas is gonna come after us.
Yeah.
Hello again, Conman. We got a wonderful episode here for you today. That is a fun one. Maybe fun in air quotes, perhaps. It's Howard the Duck. A galaxy traversing. I don't know if it's galaxy. I don't know if it's world. I don't know if it's dimensional, but traversing duck. Who in Howard the Duck, the movie that came out, I believe, in 1986, is about a duck who was pulled literally out of his living room through space, time, whatever, down to Cleveland, Ohio, and got spat out into a alleyway somewhere by a bar. And the whole movie is pretty much kind of a fish out of water or a duck not in water sort of movie. And it's about his kind of adventures with humanity and meeting humanity and humanity talking to him and treating him well as something they can eat. Apparently, that was a thing that happened multiple times in the movie. And then also in an effort to, get him back to where he was supposed to go, there's some other shenanigans that happens with maybe some Dark Overlords. So that's pretty much the setup.
Dark Overlord of the universe.
Dark Overlord of the universe.
He was just sitting in his living room in his recliner reading Play Duck, the Playboy equivalent of it.
Yeah.
And then he gets pulled out.
Oh, with duck titties and everything.
Yeah.
Like it was quite surprising.
It kind of sucks when you get pulled off your chair while looking at porn, right?
We get checked off.
Okay.
Inside joke.
How is this a PG movie?
Okay.
See, okay, all right. Let me finish the kind of intro here going on. So basically, we got Howard the Duck, and so like what I said, we'll just start with the beginning here.
Mm-hmm.
So Howard was just coming home from work, just a duck in Ducktopia or whatever, the duck version of New York, Duck York, whatever. Coming home, grabs a beer, looking at his Play Duck magazine, gets in his Lazy Duck. Leans back, drinking his
Lazy Duck,
drinking his Mallard Light beer, something like that, and just gets literally yanked out of his living room through the walls. Like, there was a duck, this lady, and she just didn't care. She was just singing everything.
Taking a bath.
Yeah, while taking a bath, duck titties out and everything like that. And just yeah. And he ends up on Earth and
In Cleveland.
Yeah,
Cleveland.
So in Cleveland. So what was you guys' first impression? Okay, first off, I'm going to say I have experienced this movie. I've seen it when I was a kid. I've seen it actually when I was probably in my 20s. I saw it maybe 10 years ago, and then I saw it recently. And so I have some experience with this movie, and I knew what to expect. And I'm also well-versed with what its reputation is online, which we'll get to. Anyway, so what's you guys' experience with the movie? Andy, we'll go with you first.
In one of the Marvel post-movie scenes, the Collector has, the guy in Marvel who collects everything?
The Collector?
The Collector. What a name.
The name
So
you
in
used
the name.
originally?
What's he known for?
So he was trying to get the Infinity Stone, I think, in one of that movie, whichever movie it was. In the post-credit scene, Howard the Duck is there, who sits and talks.
So that's about introduction to this movie?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
That is
Where are
it.
we going with this?
I knew where we were going with the cutscene, but I was like,
only your
That cameo
okay.
is the only thing I knew, and I didn't even know that it was representing a live action thing. I just was like, oh, okay.
I was aware, I guess, my whole life that it was based on comic books, and he has had multiple comic I don't know if I don't think Marvel's always owned them, but like it's definitely a part of Marvel universe. So I was aware of that, but I have no experience there.
No.
I have seen this many a time throughout my life.
Okay.
First time I would have seen it was probably closer to the 10 years old range.
Okay.
Maybe even a little before that, maybe single digits, but I've seen it a lot. And
It was rated PG, so of course you'd seen it when you were 10.
And to the point that like I had seen it when I was young, I saw it in my teens. Like it used to come on like once or every year or two, like on some cable channel, and I always watched it when I stumbled across it.
Same.
To the point that I actually, before this movie was ever released on DVD or Blu-ray or anything, I found on eBay back in the day, somebody had had a digital copy of it. They were burning onto DVDs and selling on eBay for a
my
DVD
God.
of Howard
like the
Duck.
VHS
Like
rip
a bootleg
on a
one?
DVD, or was it?
Essentially, yeah.
selling
Yeah.
bootlegs on
Essentially,
eBay.
yeah.
And you went and
so-
found this and paid for it, and
I did because I wanted a copy of it to where I could watch it whenever I wanted.
okay.
And then obviously when it came out in a real release, there wasn't like some little rip. I bought that too. So when we decided to watch this, I already owned it on disc.
All right.
So
So
you're a true fan.
We'll hold the word fan until later.
all right. What's your lengthy experience with Howard
It should
the Duck?
come as no surprise at this point that I have seen it many, many times in my life, actually.
Really?
Oh
Okay.
shit! Sorry, Turtle. I got
He
something.
said,
I have
said
something
he's
caught in my
seen
throat
It.
there.
He means like the Stephen King movie. He
Oh
didn't mean
yeah, I
It.
wouldn't
No,
believe
no,
that
no.
for a second either.
I actually have seen it, believe it or not. But no, yeah, the first time for sure. And
Did you
Was-
know about it before now?
I knew of the term Howard the Duck. I didn't know it was even associated with comics in any way. Like, I was going in super blind.
Yeah, I don't know when I first discovered it was part of comics, but I know it was in my early 20s when I happened to be watching it again with a friend of mine that I went to college with. And we just ran with like, let's watch Howard the Duck. Because I don't remember if it was like come on cable or what, but like somehow it came across it and we were watching it. And in the opening credits were like, this is produced by George Lucas?
Yeah.
we were like, what the hell?
So he was actually in debt, having built the Star Wars Ranch or whatever that was. So he was
Skywalker
heavily
Ranch.
Skywalker Ranch, and he was heavily leveraged, and he was hoping. He had come with this concept many times before. Yeah. He had come to I think Universal about this before, and after the success of Star Wars, Universal were like, sure, obviously we'll make whatever you want, and because they were also like, fuck, we missed out on Indiana Jones, so they were happy he showed up, and he was like, I need this money, so he threw his money at it and other things, and this is what led to him selling the CGI part of industrial
light
light and magic, and that turned into Pixar.
Oh.
He sold it to Steve Jobs.
Oh, okay.
So, because
Oh,
this
yeah.
movie tanked and killed, and he had to like shit. I have to
Because
sell
Pixar,
something.
yeah, no, I know that
Yeah.
story too. Pixar was like already the
And they-
name of that group or whatever. Because I think it's like tied into like the type of computer or the program or something to do
Pixel
with
art or like
something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wasn't doing much with it, and he didn't really believe in it. Then yeah, Steve Jobs bought it and like ramped it up, and they made Toy Story.
Toy Story, the first.
And they really proved themselves. And I think they got Toy Story out in like one other movie, and then Disney was like,
Here's
the money.
Well, they actually made a lot of movies before Disney.
Oh,
but then
no,
Disney
Disney
bought
was
it,
later,
and then
yeah.
of course Disney bought everything from Lucas. So Disney is just buys everything. Is the-
well, yeah, I don't think Disney like fully owned the company at first, but they were like the distributing arm or whatever. So there was only like one or two movies that got out
okay.
that just say Pixar.
Oh, okay.
Everything after that says like Disney Pixar
Yeah.
presents or something like that.
Yeah,
So
they're like
Howard
just
the
producing
Duck.
it. Howard the Duck. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
go
yeah.
back to Howard the
So
Duck.
this was George
They-
Lucas's big hope to make
It
come
was-
out of debt.
No. It
Come
was a New
on.
Hope.
New
That-
Hope.
A New Hope. Come on.
Okay, this was a movie where within 10 minutes I said to our podcast meme,
Are those duck tits?
what in the mixed nuts am I looking
What
at?
in the mixed nuts? We will. Okay. We'll.
You're bringing
stick
out
to
the
that.
mixed nuts already.
No. See, that's actually I've got something to say about that because that is actually a reputation thing this movie has online that we'll get into later.
Go ahead,
But for
go
now, I'd like to keep this thing a little bit on rails.
Mhm.
So Howard the Duck gets sucked out of his living room. He gets thrown into Earth and immediately gets inundated by like so many different things from Earth that are like way out of like his realm of like knowledge, even though it looks the same or similar to what he
hairless
has.
apes walking
And
around.
hair-
and
like yeah, they end
spiked
up
leather.
all that stuff. I actually thought that original thing was actually pretty good. Like when, he's getting just bounced around and stuff like that. Cause like you would be like, actually, I thought if I was in his shoes,
And his flippers.
if I had his flippers, if I had his flippers, I would probably be freaking out way more than he did. Cause holy crap. Or I would have thought I was in the craziest dream ever. So I honestly thought that part was actually pretty good.
I actually was a pretty big fan of the opening scene, minus the duck nipples. That
That was
really
just-
That was hot.
That was so weird
checked
because it
off.
was so like that definitely checked me off, that's for sure. It was a little bit. That was definitely a little. They could have like left that out. I actually liked the world building that they did. They only had a couple minutes in his apartment, but they showed like his.
And
parents.
it was just so full of everything.
They showed all the different like world like stuff, like the posters and like
the Indiana Jones duck.
They did a lot of world building in a very short amount of time. I thought that was pretty good.
Raiders of the Lost.
I think it's just Raiders of the Lost Duck or something. Like
I thought it was like I thought it did both. It doesn't matter.
Breeders
of the Lost, like Mallard or something. I don't know.
I think it was just Duck. Well, I'll look it up. So anyway, I actually thought like the whole beginning part was pretty okay. What'd you guys think? Like leading into the club scene.
My was, oh my god, this is so 80s. Is like my
it was pretty 80s.
All through the movie.
And
right?
movie 80s, not just 80s, like the real
Breeders
thing.
of the Lost.
It was over exaggerated movie 80s.
Oh, I love that you said that because it was just the perfect of like this is like all the movies that came in and around it, and you can see just the film grain, the characters, the Leia Thompson, she's so naive. The nerd is so nerdy and weird. Right?
Oh,
like
God.
That was his first
he couldn't be
movie.
normal. Yeah, he couldn't be normal, right? Like and Howard is just spitting wise lines, even though he's like an alien in another planet and surrounded by
nothing but
talking apes.
one-liners.
Also, Howard the Duck is a wise cracking character.
Yeah, he was.
He likes to crack wise.
Yeah,
I was like, this is so 80s.
yeah.
They just replaced the lost kid with a duck. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, no, I mean, not even just the opening scene. I think the first probably 2/3 of this movie are just fun. I mean, they're silly as fuck.
Yeah,
but it's just fun.
Here's, I already said I actually really liked the opening, but I was also at the same time disappointed because I wanted to see more of the duck world.
right.
I wanted
Right.
like the story to take place there. I was like,
You know, it's
They didn't
always
have the budget.
It's always one of those things of like going, they don't give enough time here, and you get people who want more time there. But then if you spend that time there, that everybody's like, well, you didn't get to the real story, the real movie. So you like you kind of it's like
cut.
it's almost lose. But yeah, I did actually agree with you. I think like maybe not the first 2/3 of it, maybe the first half. All pretty
Essentially,
good.
as soon as the reverse laser explodes,
Yeah,
that's where it kind of goes off the rails a little bit.
I mean, okay. When Bev, her name is Bev, right?
yeah.
Beverly something. Bev and Ducky are getting it on.
I was gonna get
They
there.
did not have sex.
I was like,
just
It was
almost.
creepy as fuck, but
so for me, as much as she's beautiful, I just felt like her very, very objectified or sexualized a little way.
it's an
too much.
80s movie.
I was like, this is a little.
She owned it
Ugh.
though.
Yeah.
My wife even commented on that because she watched it with me, and she's like, she was really cute, and she was her own person. Like she did not give a fuck that the other guys were like going, oh, you shouldn't be having interspecies relations. She's like, no, fuck you. That's my duck.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
and it wasn't even like because she was crazy. They didn't play her off like crazy. She knew what she was doing. So actually, I was like, that's not too bad. Like,
but I mean, I think it depends on how you're
Yeah.
looking at it. Like, if you're like a real person flying on the wall, like in that room, I 100% agree with you. I think what you were leaning towards is how they were showing her on screen and revealing so much skin. But I mean, you can't show the character that owns herself and is, not nervous about who she is and is proud of her being without showing that on the screen. Like, I think it makes it seem sometimes a little bit more objectified because it almost seems like we're a peeping Tom looking into their room because we're watching this film. But I don't think she's portrayed in the way that she's being taken.
She knew what she was doing when she came out of that bathroom wearing almost nothing. She already knew what she was doing. So there wasn't like, so I get it. It's like going, yeah, sure, they're trying to objectify her, just like, like, because she's very pretty. It's Leah Thompson. Like, she's gorgeous, like, flat out. But like,
she can make her own son.
But as a character, I didn't feel like they were just making her some sort of stupid bimbo.
Is that why you're wearing this? Because she's in the movie?
Maybe.
For those that can't see, Deuce is wearing a Back to the Future shirt, and Leah Thompson, who's in this movie, plays Marty McFly's mom in Back to the Future.
Yes.
Hence the she could make a son debate whether he should,
Yeah. We were talking about this earlier, and I'll just get this out of the way. It's like going, I made this comment to my wife. I was like going, it's kind of funny that Leah Thompson in a single year tried to bang her son and then is trying to bang a duck. Like, if you're an actress looking back on your career in the 80s, and that's what you think about, be like, all right, that's Leah Thompson's, I guess, legacy for like 1986, 85, 86, 87.
She hasn't been in a whole lot of movies either, though, right?
Well, there's a lot of stuff that I was reading that apparently Howard the Duck movie ruined a lot of their careers.
Oh,
yeah. I heard.
And they had a hard time getting any work at all. So she started just taking whatever the fuck she could get because the phones just stopped ringing when that.
Which is weird because as from an acting standpoint, I thought she did great.
She did all right.
She was very charming. She was.
I didn't feel like she was too uneven or something. I think they gave her a character and she did it justice. And like the
Yeah. No, I don't. I want to go back to the bestiality for a second.
Oh, Jesus.
Because
That's a big topic. Why not?
I feel
Why
like I
not?
have to make a point here, which is like why I don't feel it's as bad of a thing as people like to try to say. The way I view that scene is take the fact that he's a duck out of the equation. Because she just realizes he's a duck. That's who he is. He's my friend. Done. It doesn't matter that he's a different species. He's a friend. But just imagine it's just a guy. From my perspective, what she was doing, she knew that he was like nervous and uncomfortable about how like she was dressed. She started doing it to fuck with him.
Yeah. Well, she even said
So
that.
if he was
I thought that was obvious.
man,
That's what she was doing.
if that scene
and
happened the exact same way, and he was a human man, you wouldn't think anything of it. But the fact that he's a duck, you're like, oh, that's disgusting. She's trying to fuck him. I'm like, well, not you guys, but I'm saying like people online. And I'm like, no, that's just, she accepted. That's what he is. He's a friend. Oh, I see he's a little uncomfortable. I'm going to fuck with him.
Yeah, because that's all he does is fuck with everybody, basically.
Yeah.
That's his whole character. My wife did make the comment of something like, oh, she's trying to get some of that corkscrew dick. Because, anybody who knows anything about duck anatomies and how that work, it's a little different. Yep, it's a little different.
And
but
she already knew he had the condom.
yeah, he did have the condom.
That condom was misshapen then.
Yeah, and things had changed, and ducks had evolved more like humans, pretty much. Like they lost the wings and all that, and got hands basically.
Yeah.
So that whole scene definitely is one of the most talked about scenes in the whole movie. Let's go back to just acting real quick. What did you guys think of Howard himself? Like, were you annoyed by him? Were you okay with him? Do you think he could have been funnier, or like in the comics, he actually leans more into, he's actually kind of more of a detective? And did you notice any of that? Like any traits there? So what's your opinions?
I mean, overall, I take offense to most of the movie's writing and just in general. But I don't think the actors were all that bad.
Okay.
I was not a big fan of much of the writing.
What do you mean by taking offense to it?
Yeah, I was more.
No, I just mean I don't think it was great.
Oh, okay.
So that's all.
I thought like something. I was like, what offended you?
No.
Like,
I mean,
you can tell when actors are still doing good, even if they have crap dialogue.
Right. Yeah, they were trying to make the best of what they had, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't think any of the acting was all that bad. But I do think the lines were bad, and the
You don't like that he was a master of quack foo?
right. Things
duck
like that
puns.
would work in like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something like that, but for some reason it just doesn't work in this movie. But I also like whoever was in the Howard the Duck costume did really good with his mannerisms and like the way he carried himself. And I thought, there was like 5 people who were apparently Howard the Duck on this movie. Maybe one of y'all
there
know
was like
what-
multiple puppeteers. There's a guy in the suit. There's a guy doing a voice. Like there was all kinds of
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
You
don't
look
know.
on IMDb. There's several people that are listed as Howard.
I don't
the
know
Duck.
who
They didn't
was
have
who.
the voice guy finalized till late though, right? So that's why they just did a general thing and then they voiced over
That I didn't
later.
know that. I'm spacing on the guy's name, but I remember seeing the guy's name who was actually in the suit. Because it was
Wasn't
I don't know
Warwick
if you call
Davis,
it-
was it?
no. I don't know if dwarf or little person or what's the most politically correct thing to say right now, but
Yeah,
that's what he was.
You just said everything.
That's why I said them both. I'm like, I don't know which one's
I had in
acceptable
my
version now
different
because
notes. I won't open that now, but
yeah.
But and I even like paid special attention to it too because I knew it was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle kind of thing where it was a puppet
person
but
in a
also
suit,
a costume. And like I was trying to see, okay, how are they doing in terms of like acting like you were actually this person, and I was really impressed.
I thought it was pretty believable. Like, it's not like obviously not real, but like the practical costume and the way they did everything was pretty good. And the actor, like he didn't annoy me. Like like I wish they would have leaned more into his comic roots, where he's definitely more detective and like sort of like figuring stuff out a little bit more, because he seemed a little bit like he could have went down that, like he was pretty shrewd. Like he ended up like basically taking away like Beverly and her bands, the Cherry Bombs manager, like taking them out and then taking over for them eventually and stuff like that. Yeah. So he was pretty shrewd. So they did show off a little bit of that. And I actually wish they had time to do more of that, rather than go in like the big bombastic, quote unquote, like whole ending with all that stuff. I wish they would have went more in on that, or had time to do that, like not try to, have the dark overlords come in.
Be less world ending.
Yeah, like that was actually,
hey, this is a happy accident, we can't get you home.
Yeah, that was
live here now.
That was a huge disappointment for me that they couldn't do that, but I get it because they wanted to have some sort of big finale.
I mean, and that's the problem with a lot of movies. Like they always like it's got to be a world-ending event. It's like, why can't it just be like a little neighborhood
with
story?
Another sky beam?
Yeah.
This was another sky beam.
beams.
This is one of the original sky beams.
Yeah.
I guess the Death Star was kind of one of the originals.
Yeah.
When you say detective movie, I also thought like the music was a little. There was like this techno detective 80s music vibe going on whenever some scenes were going on. I was like, okay, that's interesting. And there was what felt like orchestral, slightly uplifting movie music when the bad guy was getting like nuclear reactor power, and then it would play like this orchestra music that was like more sounded like a hero powering up. And I was like, I don't know why something for me felt off on the matching of that for some reason. I
feel
couldn't
like,
tell why.
No, I get what you're saying. And I feel like a lot of the music did not match whatever was happening in the movie at the time.
Yeah.
However, I actually really liked the music just in and of itself.
No, the music itself was great. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not that.
So speaking of the music, did you guys notice, and I had to look this up during the movie because at many times I've seen this, I didn't notice it. But did you know that Leah Thompson sung all of her own lines?
Yep. Well, not until I saw her in the credits.
Yeah, like you could hear it. Like I was like, that legit sounds like her. I was like, I have to look this up, and I looked it up, and sure enough, Leah Thompson actually, they were gonna dub over her vocals for this, and they found out like, oh, you sound good, so they kept it. So
no, she trained.
Huh?
She put effort.
I'm sure she did, but they told her they were going to dub over it, and then like they ended up keeping it because she did sound good.
She committed to the
So I thought that was pretty cool. Another character that we already mentioned was the nerdy scientist guy. I thought this motherfucker was the most annoying, dumpster fire character of all time.
You know who that is, right?
It's Merlin from Top Gun is all I know him as. But he is
Tim Robbins.
I'm like, isn't that the guy in Shawshank Redemption?
Tim Robbins. Come on, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies of all time. I should have he was so annoying to me. I don't care.
Yeah.
He was fucking terrible, and I don't think
so
it was.
bad.
Again, I don't think it was his fault. Because I've seen,
but I think this is one of his earliest credits.
It probably is,
and he was just happy to be in a George Lucas.
He definitely got told to be like, "Hey, go a little ham on the character. We want him quirky. We want him crazy. Just do whatever." And I don't think it was his fault, but it was definitely a bad choice.
That was my negative about the movies. It felt like too many characters were cookie cutter, like
stereotypical.
Like throw that guy. He's gonna do that. You're gonna be this, and even. Leah Thompson, like Beverly, you're like, oh, you're gonna be this naiveness with like this, and you're gonna be damsel in distress for a lot of it.
Yeah,
the nerdy character,
Tim Robbins, he was in several TV shows before this.
Okay, Tim Robbins' character, like they also brought him to like because I guess it was Leah Thompson, like she is naive. And she brings him to like the only guy that's, I guess, the boyfriend of one of her band members because he's a quote unquote scientist. So he should know things. Like, so when trying to figure out where Howard comes from, this is a perfect choice. And I'm like going, okay, I can follow that line of logic, especially in the 80s. You can't just Google it. Like, who would I go talk to about an alien duck?
Well, I was about to say, can you just Google that?
I mean, you can't, but I'm sure Chat GPT would probably give you an enthusiastic answer of what you should do in that situation.
But I mean, she found out real quick. She's like, I know this scientist guy. Let's go see him. And then he starts talking. She's like, what the hell? And they're trying to storm out.
I'm getting out of here.
They both get the shit. And I love that she had his back too. And they're like, let's get the fuck out of here. But yeah, anyway, back to just his character. Hated his character all the way through, and then somehow he also knew stuff he shouldn't know near the end. Like he knew like how the laser thing should work and like all this other stuff. And I'm just like, how the fuck do you know all that? You're literally a janitor. You're just kind of you know about this. Like you're cleaning up puke for the senior staff. That's
doesn't mean he's not listening.
I guess I don't
and
know.
Also,
but he doesn't work there. He works at a fucking.
How often is somebody smart enough to
museum
do a job higher than what they actually have? But that's the only thing they'll be giving because you have to be in the role for so long before you get something.
And you think he was one of those people?
I'm not saying he is, but I'm just saying that's a believable
let's not
story.
defend the character. I guess okay. So you actually like the character? Then.
I don't.
Okay.
I'm just trying to be devil's advocate.
Devil's advocate. I got you. So yeah, he was really annoying, and he brought down the movie a lot for me. This was actually the first time where I think I started disliking the movie.
The Dr. Jennings, the other scientist, he was good.
I was just about to get. I'm kind of rolling through the characters.
Are you talking about Jeff Jones?
We're talking about the PDF guy.
Yeah,
he opens the
metamorphosis is complete.
I was like, this guy really give all for
what
this role.
sucks about that guy is he is
He's
legitimately. Yeah, but I mean, well, that's what.
Oh, you mean not the actor?
In real life, he is a horrible, horrible person, and he's
I didn't know.
He's dead. He's dead now.
He got caught like having trying to talk little boys into sending him nude photos. He had all kinds of child pornography and shit.
There was
no redemption for him.
No redemption for him. So let's just get that straight. So when I talk positively about him, it's not about him. But that man, in most of the performances I've ever seen him in, is amazing. He nails the character every time.
Pedophiles ruining everything.
Right. But in this,
I have to and I heard some of his name is Mark Bernard, and he did this quote when he was talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer and
Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon. Was essentially like, I have to separate the person from their art.
Yep.
That way, what they've done in real life doesn't ruin the art that
Firefly. I mean,
so for instance, you're talking about him. Like, I love his performance in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah,
but I have to separate who he is as a real person from the art that was made that he happened to be in.
Yep. Yeah. So his character actually, for me, kind of flipped it. Like, he was the scientist that was kind of grounded. He brought some gravitas, and then when he started changing, he got kind of wacky. But he brought it back down because sometimes he just like he was kind of like some grumpy old man, and it was just fucking funny.
I love it when movies take like who you know is going to be the ultimate big bad guy, but for a period of time he's just like one of the guys, one of the gang,
and they don't really realize it so much. Like, he's not on your. He literally said he's like the dark overlord of the universe to him, but they don't quite.
They're just like,
and he's just like, whatever. And
well, like to me, it reminds me of in Men in Black. The bug inside of the skin suit thing.
Right
now, but that's what
I think he might have based his performance on this guy.
Maybe.
Yeah. But the character I thought was pretty good. I did think they maybe did some of his scenes a little too long. Like, there's the diner scene.
Yeah, that
I thought that went on too long.
Oh yeah,
and it was like the whole scene was just like the pacing of the movie was kind of, by this point in the movie, I'm like, oh man, there's something slow here.
I literally wrote the diner fight is so played.
I also
I'm done with it.
over like. Everyone that meets the dog like, let's chop him up.
Yeah,
I'm like,
everybody wants.
Everybody wants, but not everybody.
Not everyone's going to just be like, man, it's time for a duck feast.
Yeah, it's
in
like
the middle of everything that's happening too.
They played.
It's a talking duck, and your first thought is let's cook it.
Yeah, let's kill it.
There's this dude with glowing eyes over there, but we're just gonna ignore that.
Yeah, I did like when he did finally come, quote unquote, help, and he did help, which was weird. But at the same time, I kind of like, because he's still kind of Jennings at this point. Like, he says he's
really
not
helping. He was trying to get the cards. We had to fuck them up to get the
but
card.
he didn't have to free Howard for that. The card was in the one dude's pocket. Like, he literally blasted the dude with the pocket. So he did kind of help.
Couldn't just use his mind powers.
I did like how they had the cleaver going around. Like, and he's just like,
That was so cheap.
I like that.
That was so cheap.
It was so cheap, but I loved it. Like I did like that part of the diner scene.
I somehow liked the weird effect of like sound waves just goes out of his sides, and then he shoots a laser
Oh, a
beam
little like
effect
eye
when
thing
he's
on
like
the side.
charging
like
something.
it's like charged up, like it's like
I
a
was
car
like,
undercharging.
no,
and
no,
when he was in
okay.
the freaking truck and
And
how
it just
long it got.
gets a mile long.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, oh, that's interesting.
And then they blow up the cars, but it's like they ran out of dynamite because it only blew up like the first few, and then it kind of blew up, and I was like, oh, come on. Like,
George Lucas was running out of the money in the middle of the movie. He was like, I ain't got this.
And
That's
it-
what I mean. As soon as we start getting to the little overlord, that's when I was like, it kind of goes off the rails for me.
It does.
Even it became
There's still
like
some moments that are
body
okay, but yeah.
horror, body horror thing because he's just like from his mouth comes out a thing. He's like, I need energy.
Oh, the tentacle with the
Mm.
claw
I'm
on
like,
it.
oh,
yeah,
okay.
that got a little weird, like because there's already some weird shit in the movie, like the whole like beginning with like the overplayed like the duck titties and stuff like that was just weird because there was hardly any cussing in the movie. Did you guys remember a single death? Like actual death. The only one that I thought might have been a death would have been the highway patrolman when he was in right there with that scene we were just talking about.
Everybody
But
that was
I
in their
think he
cars
got-
and they blew up.
But I think he got stunned. Okay, maybe. That's
Everyone
don't
who was
see it,
in-
though.
in the line
that
of
is
cars,
that
yeah.
is true. We did, and there might have been parachutes that came out on the side. And we just they just all parachuted out.
Everyone had an ejection
Because
seat.
GI Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, the
But other-
monster died.
But every human.
Did it die or was it
human-
sent back home?
Whoa, what a twist.
That is a twist. I'm assuming dead.
Yeah. He
very
got
much dead.
de-atomized or whatever that.
Yeah, whatever the
thing
gun
does.
was.
Proton, whatever thing it was called,
Yeah.
proton blaster. The tone
They just
for
had that
me
sitting around waiting too.
was like the tonal whiplash. Because even when the ducky was like, when he gets in and they're like, hey, you're an unemployed guy, you need to be in the unemployment line. And I'm like, so wait, so this is normalized now? So should I think people are going to be shocked about this duck anymore? Because that lady, typical, stereotypical, but then gets him a job. And then it's like in this terrible, grimy place. And I'm like, why are they so obsessed with like this griminess of Cleveland?
Well, the
to show it
overly
like that?
sexualized stuff, from what I understand, is direct from the comics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's probably
Okay.
influenced from the comic. They did try to write it into the scene, saying like, "Oh, I get all like the lady." And she was great, by the way. I loved her. It's like going, "Oh, I get all the
weird
crazy
ones,
ones. I get all the weird ones. I'm gonna get you a job," because she thought it was a dude in a suit. So I kind of
okay.
I
That
kind of
makes
get
sense.
But that whole like side thing, like that's another thing that I have a problem with in the movie. Is like I get that it probably was from the comics, and they're trying to like basically be like, okay, if he did have to try to normalize and be in the world, how would Howard like start out?
You would be with
But
the
I hate-
weirdos and the outcasts.
But I
So
just
that's
But
why
see,
they
that's what I'm saying,
picked
like, the
all
fish
that.
out of water
I-
story, I was fine with. It's
Yeah.
up until the overlords show up, and I'm like,
I just think they could have cut that wholly out of the movie, like and stuck with like the whole band, like maybe like more manager stuff like that. I thought that part was okay because
Well,
it actually had part
but he has to
of
find his way
like
there.
yeah, but
There seems to be like two comedic styles that are at battle with each other in this
there's
movie.
the dark comedy.
And you've got the absurdist comedy stuff, and then you've got the buddy comedy, typical 80s flick stuff that are just like they don't mesh well together.
The nerd and the duck on the little plane thing and like flying
Yeah.
around and that.
And
yeah,
I would
that's
add
the
dark
buddy
comedy onto that too. And like
Yeah.
you were saying with total whiplash, it's like
Yeah.
there's literally 3 different comedy styles in this movie.
Yeah.
It is very tonally like just even within the one like subgenre of what the movie's going for besides drama, the comedy was just all over the place.
And what I read was in the comics, the duck was even more sharp-tongued.
Yeah.
Like would just like one-liners, zinger, like
Yeah,
would
he was one after
destroy.
another.
Yeah.
But
Much
in,
was a
more.
in some ways,
superpower.
that works for a comic, and it's hard
Yeah.
to translate that to film.
He was a silver-billed duck in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sticking with
Well,
that one.
I mean, unless you want to break down the entire ending with the weirdo alien overlords.
No,
I
it was
curious if I'm curious to see like where you guys would go with this after that.
I have my question.
I kind of wanted to finish out like because we're coming up on. I have 2 more things in mind that I'd like to roll through real quick.
Mhm.
So the next scene that I also hated was the escape scene where He steals Leah Thompson, the pedophile.
Jeff Jones.
Jeff Jones character. What's his name? Doctor whatever. Steals her, and they have to try to like get there. And he goes on some sort of side quest to get more power while they're flying some sort of like that whole thing. Like I think in my entire life I fast forward through all that whole scene because I thought like this doesn't have to be here.
Although I do love it when he's like, I feel good now.
Or yes, that's what sucks is there's some parts that are great, but like that whole like apparently they are driving forever because they were literally in an airplane that was going for quite some time to catch up with them, but like they didn't drive for that long to get to the diners, so like none of that lined up in my brain either. And then going to the power plant, I'm like, I need more power. I was like, going, that could have all been skipped, even though that was awesome. Like I hated that. What'd you guys think of this part?
Oh yeah,
totally.
Absolutely.
As soon as they start going off that road, that's when I'm just waiting to get through the rest of the movie. Usually at that point, like it's not that I hate the entire portion of it when the Overlord showed up, but it's just that, like I said, I prefer the fish out of water story. As soon as you have to make, there's super aliens coming down and we got to save the world, I'm like, I don't.
I thought the cop was gonna be the bad guy, the guy who's coming to find him and all. I was like, this is gonna be like cops chasing him, police cars chasing him. He's gonna run around, do a rigmarole, and get back to the lab and go back home or figure something out, right?
Oh yeah.
And I was like, that could have been a good ending right there. And then they brought in this other alien.
The laser screws up when he's trying to escape the cop, and it sends that cop to the duck world.
What a twist!
That could have been hilarious, honestly.
And then the after credits scene, technically it's a Marvel movie. Yes. It's him in the duck world experiencing the exact same thing, exact same line of events. So you do the entire scene again, except he's there and all the other characters are now the ducks.
That would have been pretty good.
Could have been a sequel.
You should held on to that one for where you're gonna go. Like, where would you go with that?
That's no worry. Well, I was just like, that's funny.
Maybe I'll steal that from mine then. But okay, so ending. We had the final battle versus the Dark Overlord and Howard the Duck and friends.
And now he's been separated from the Doctor.
In a little go-kart thing and an atomizer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But now he's like a big old like lobster alien with a sideways mouth with pincers on it because he's no longer inside.
He was supposed to be in a body, and why did he get knocked out of the body? Because he said he couldn't survive without a body. But then all of a sudden, did
he say that? Because I do know,
no, they couldn't come into like they can't come to this world if they don't start and grow in a body.
But he didn't get to. Well, I guess technically he did get to grow because he did go to the power plant. Maybe that was the whole reason why they put in the power plant. But it doesn't. But he just not like he hits him. Like with the thing, and then like it knocks him out.
Yeah,
the scientist even okay.
Atomized him, but not enough. He phase shifted out of the Doctor.
And it didn't deatomize the scientists either. For the people at home, there's a big fight that happens between the Doctor, who is being overtaken by the Dark Overlord, and Howard the Duck with a little go-kart thing and like this deatomizer laser, and they hit, and it basically knocks the Dark Overlord out of the Doctor's body. And he is now okay, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dark Overlord becomes a giant shrimp thing.
And it
apparently the metamorphosis is
not
actually changing him. It's just evolving. I don't know.
It's like a face hugger from Alien, is what it is. I thought when it took its form, it looked like one of in MIB's one of the first aliens.
Yes. It looked like a Men in Black alien.
Yeah, it looked like that Men in Black alien he blasted at the beginning of the movie.
It was decent stop motion though.
It was. The one okay thing in it was, hey, you need to use this laser to kill them or else you can't go back. I think that was a good part of the writing. I was like, that keeps him in here. And he's also doing a good choice. He's making a good choice, so he's a good person. What was weird to me is that he had zero superpowers except for quack fu. Like, he had nothing. I was like, maybe he'll have
Duck
something.
has no powers.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's got
Howard
nothing.
has no powers. He's just a dude.
He's just a duck out of water.
I didn't know that. I kept expecting at some point he's going to suddenly levitate something.
Like with the scientist characters, like, bend this bar for me. Like, that shit. Like, which is funny. I comment on this to my wife. I was like, because I never picked up on that before. I was like, that dude tried to do some of the stupidest things with Howard. And then the Dark Overlord was literally doing those things, including the IV beam thing that he wanted him to do. And I was like, that's actually clever. But it was still horribly done by the character.
It's too over the top.
It was too over the top. But like there was definitely a callback there, but it was so hard to pick up on.
I don't feel like the callback was purposeful though. I think
it might not have been. It might have been a happy coincidence.
Yeah.
But it does feel. But I did think that was pretty funny that he did that to Howard, and then like the other alien literally could do those things.
Yeah.
So my question was, and was thinking about this as I saw the movie, and it's got more backing to it. Do you think the movie would be better if Howard was just a cartoon? It can all be a cartoon movie, or he's just an animated cartoon.
No. To me, like the Howard the character, costume, the puppetry, all that stuff was done actually pretty well.
Yeah. Say what you want about the story, but that was done right. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe like you could have done better with like overall like animation, not just Howard. If everything was animation, you could have stylized things more, made things more comic book like they've done with some of the Spider-Man movies.
Right.
No, I think the writing,
because the writers, I think writers and the director, they wanted it to be animated.
Really?
And Universal said, no, this is our big summer live action movie. It has to be live action. And so they were pushed. Yeah, they were really setting it up to fail. They kept telling everyone this, and the trailer was also like family friendly. Everyone show up. Nothing awkward here. And people were like, there's some scenes that are really weird. I don't know how duck breasts got through the censorship and was PG-13.
Hey, boobs are boobs, man. They're not
that's the thing. What I'm saying, boobs are boobs. Why are you showing it to 13-year-olds?
They're technically covered though. They're covered with feathers.
But they weren't. They weren't actually. They were like cardboard and cotton or something. So you weren't really showing nudity.
But
the puppetry was hard. I heard that it was. What I read was like it was so involved that one person was one eye, another person was another eye, another person was the mouth.
Oh wow!
And they had to coordinate amongst them to make everything work together.
I mean, it showed on screen. That was good. It was good. I thought that was good. To answer your question, I'm with Mike. I pretty much don't think this would have been any better. In fact, it might have even been worse. It would have almost taken me out of it because we're like something like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where the whole like movie is around cartoons, like cartoons exist with humanity. I don't think it would have worked just because it didn't have that same context. And you can't exactly be like, oh, well, his duck world is cartoon, so in our world he would be cartoon. I don't think that quite works. So, and also just the movie, the pacing, the writing in some ways was just kind of bad. So I don't think that would have improved the movie.
So the duck wasn't the problem.
I don't think. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think the duck was the problem.
No. I mean, and also, I don't know if it helped or not, but since it came 3 years earlier or so, or no, 4 years earlier, I think it was 90 that came out. Ninja Turtles, and how the puppetry and everything was for that. I'm just like, did Howard the Duck kind of lay some of the
groundwork for that?
Yeah. I thought this was actually in between Ninja Turtles 1 and the second movie. Second movie is terrible. I think it was like between 1 and 2 in terms of quality.
The second movie is not terrible.
The puppetry, I meant.
By comparison.
The third movie
the third movie puppetry.
The
1 and 2 are still both Henson.
One and 2. The quality drop off from Henson to something else.
Yeah.
I think this was in between that. It wasn't as bad as the other.
But we're not going into right.
Here's another thing that I think is just one small thing I want to call out with the live action stuff that I think did actually work out really well is the set design. I think they actually did a really, really good job of like putting together the sets, making sure there was a lot of detail to it, and like the scale of the laser was gigantic, and computers with all the buttons and stuff.
That was an ILM miniature.
Was it? I figured they were just at like an actual I
think that was an ILM miniature. Like when they did the shots from like close up of it.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. The set design, like all around, now that I think about it, like even like the bar, like I can even visualize how big I think the bar is, the pieces of it, how like kind of dirty it was, where the stage was compared to where the people are.
Because when I think Cleveland, I really think grunge.
Yeah. What was it?
But
Was it grunge?
I don't know.
was
80s. I don't know what Cleveland was like in 86. Comment if you know what Cleveland was like in 86 in the bar scene.
Yeah, just
No
the bar
clue.
scene was
Yeah, or
grunge.
wherever. But it
Just
was
Cherry
it was
Bomb.
yeah, it was Cherry Bomb when they were big. Comment about that. But no, I do agree. I think the set design, pretty much overall, even the final set design, like with like the where they were doing the battle at with the big telescope, or not telescope, whatever it was. I don't know. It looked great.
Yeah, it was expensive. They put like 40 million.
There was definitely
into it.
talent behind this movie.
Yeah,
for sure. So, do you think we should get into what you were proposing of where would
unless there's something else you want to go to first.
I don't think so. I think we kind of talked about all of it, really. Does anybody else got anything else before we go to where will we go with this?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Does anybody want to lead with where would you go with Howard the Duck?
How would you make a Howard the Duck 2?
How would you make a Howard the Duck 2, or how would you change it if you wanted to reboot it?
Oh, man.
One or the other.
It'd be Howard 2 Duck. Okay.
I mean, like I said, you gotta somehow involve the duck world. You gotta somehow maybe get the main characters that were in this first one and get them into Howard's world. Maybe some snafu goes wrong with the laser when Howard eventually says, "You know what? I really do want to go home," or something, and they all go. Or maybe he's like, "I want you to meet the family," and it's like Howard the Duck 2, meet the family. I don't know.
Howard the Duck 2, the clumps.
So you get another fish out of water story, but in reverse.
Yeah.
I think that this was already made in a way by the movie Ted, which I think would be a very good work. Which is same whippersnapper kind of little. They're like, oh, it's a cute teddy bear, and then it's like totally adult movie, right? I think that would be the direction I would go, where it's like shenanigans. That's funny, and he has a real world job now. People are got used to it. Like, yeah, that's the duck that talks. Yeah, we know it. Kind of like that. And he's a detective, and they still come to him, and he's like a struggling detective trying to figure shit out. But he still finds it, and he's still, making existential commentary and jokes about everything going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd involved his duck world at all. I get the reason behind why you'd want to do it, but I feel too often people are like, well, we did this, so let's just flip it the other way and do the exact same thing again.
I will give you that. I think mine is a very
yours is just because you want to see more of the duck world.
You just want to see more of the duck world, which I do too. So I'm there with.
Yeah, like I don't.
I think that's the wrong direction to go, but at the same time, well, no.
But we get it.
I'm there with you. I want to go that direction, but I just don't think that'd be like from a story wise would be.
We just give it a nostalgia rating.
I want to see that though, but a spinoff.
The way I would go with it is I feel like maybe not the way that people would think to go necessarily. So this whole movie, we had the whole fish out of water and the whole thing with the weird overlords coming down, whatever. My thought is like, he's now the manager of the Cherry Bombs. He's been here for a while, and it's finally starting to get to him that he's alone. He's the only one of his kind on this planet. So he starts to spiral into like depression and drinking and letting his life is just falling apart
and breaking up with Beverly
and just like, this is like he's fucking falling apart. And he has to somehow find his way to acceptance and everything of living here. So it's literally just kind of like a normal story, but from the eyes of a duck who's alone because he's the only one of his kind.
Jeez.
Usually in that story, another duck falls from the sky. And it's the female.
Another one comes.
Nope. I would not do that. That'd be the easy way out.
That'd be season. If that was a TV show, it'd be season 2 or 3 that would happen. Or
but the thing is, the woman duck's gonna come in.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, oh, obviously y'all should be together.
Addendums to my story.
No, y'all should be together, and they try it, and it doesn't work. And he finds out that really Beverly was there all along.
No.
See, this is Hollywood, baby. It's like you come with a good idea, and then you're like,
police put his mark on your story.
We want duck sex.
Somebody comes in with a good idea, they're like, but we have to wrap it up in a nice bow with a happy ending. So there's a girl duck that comes down and they fall in love. No.
See, I would do not something super simple, well, kind of similar to that. However, I would actually make a legit sequel to the current Howard the Duck. Let that just stay canon, even though we'll talk about what I think about the movie here in a little bit.
We might by current, you mean like the animated one voiced by Seth Green, or
no, I'm sorry. Just like the current, like the one we're talking about.
Okay.
Like that, like I would make a sequel to this one,
Yeah,
except for I would keep it like just as an actual sequel and lean into him, like the whole detective backstory, like where he is trying to figure out who he is, find acceptance. A world now know that he exists, and he is trying to figure out who he is. And then he finds out that, hey, I can become more of a, this is now my new, we have no idea what he did on his duck world. Like it looked like he was something. Like he was something.
The way he got home, I thought it was like maybe like a boring job, like I'm an insurance salesman and I hate my life kind of thing or something. I don't know.
Maybe, but he's pretty capable. So I would like to actually have them lean into that more. The detective, maybe not quite noir, hard boiled.
Sorry,
Hard boiled noir.
Huh?
Hard boiled.
Eggs.
Because he's a duck.
Oh, okay,
Scared of
sorry.
eggs.
It's not funny when you
No,
have to
I thought you were.
explain it.
I thought you were referencing something.
No, like
Oh, yeah, it's also
hard-boiled-
a type of mystery.
Yeah, like detective
stories.
noir stuff, like where he
Hard-boiled
actually kind of
detective.
becomes like goes down that whole road of finding a career. I think the detective thing would be actually pretty great.
All right, here, let me
You could have
take
it-
take your idea and ruin it.
Okay, yeah, like that is your specialty.
But then he gets sent to the duck world, and
The deuce is gonna deuce all over my idea.
2 words: bat duck.
Back to
no. Darkwing duck.
Darkwing Duck. Yes. All right. Yes, I guess it already exists. But no, that's exactly where I would take that. Is like keep the story as it was, because it's pretty fantastical. It's kind of a good setup, and then it's like, where do you go from here? And it's like, all right, he's a capable guy. That'd be fun. That'd be a good way to introduce like a new story. And I also want to get away from like the world is ending. Because I don't like that for everything.
Just have it be a personal.
It could be
story.
a personal. It can be something pretty crazy. It doesn't even have to be super dark and dramatic. It doesn't have to go. I'll pick on you a little bit. He doesn't have to go spiraling with like drugs and alcohol and banging every chick
I
that
didn't
he
bring up
finds that
sex.
loves
And technically, I didn't bring up drugs. Y'all did. Throw it into my story.
But anyway, so that's where I would go with that. I think that would actually be that'd be fun, and that maybe that's how the comics are. I'm ignorant. Sorry to
I've
anybody
never
out
read
there.
a single one of the comics.
I'm ignorant to the comics. Maybe that is exactly how they are, or something like that. But
Or
that's
maybe it's bat duck.
That's what I like. Maybe it does dude. A crossover in the comics between him and Darkwing Duck or Bat Duck it has to exist. So all right, so cooler nostalgia time.
Let's do it.
All right, so since I'm the host, I'll go ahead and go first. I am definitely nostalgic on this. I think this had the potential to be a good movie. I think there is good scenes. I think there's some good acting. There's definitely some good set design. There's definitely some good special effects. However, the pacing was terrible. Some of the dialogue was terrible. The characters in general, terrible. And like, it just didn't have the right story. I think it missed the mark entirely. So despite the fact that I kind of liked the movie, like it was okay, but this is like a 5 out of 10 for me. Like, it wasn't the worst thing ever. And the reason why I bring that up is online, this movie, for whatever reason, is always just absolutely dragged by everybody. I swear to God, nobody's actually seen it, because they're always like, that's the worst movie of all time.
Everyone
Terrible
thinks it's on the level of Mixed Nuts, is what you're
yeah,
trying to
literally everybody says this is a terrible movie. And I looked over at my wife wondering if she thought the same thing after watching it. She's like going, it was kind of stupid, but it was all right. Like there wasn't anything bad. And normally if it was bad, she would call it real bad. But it wasn't that bad. But for some reason, online, it is popular. This is the Nickelback of movies. It is super popular to just say it's the worst thing ever, when quite clearly it's not. Like,
these are people that haven't seen very many movies,
right? So it is just something.
Did you
that's
look
just
at me when you said that?
It's just something that's constantly
I didn't
repeated.
actually, but
So
See, I saved you all by making you watch Mixed Nuts so that you have like a
now we know what the worst movie is.
This is no Mixed Nuts. So even though I am in the camp of nostalgic, I would actually say that Howard the Duck is an interesting character. And if you are a little interested, go watch it. It's fine. It is not the worst movie ever made. It is not completely terrible. I know it's popular to say it's not. So that's my I guess verdict. Nostalgic, but you can watch it.
To keep it interesting, I'm going to jump in next and say I disagree with it being nostalgic.
Okay.
But there's a very specific reason why I disagree and why I'm going to say that it's cool. The only reason is I am somebody who actually enjoys watching like B movies and like bad movies that you still find fun and cool, even though it's not a good movie at all.
Yeah.
To me, this movie falls exactly in that camp. Is it a good movie? No. It's a
so
bad
bad,
kind of
it's
B
good.
movie. But it's one of those ones like, yeah, there's so much like just stupid bad about it that it brings it all the way full circle to being good and fun. Because like clearly, like I said at the beginning of this, I've owned this on DVD since before it was on DVD. Like I like to just randomly watch this movie every couple of years.
Do you think it would do well if it was released today?
Well, it wouldn't do well at all. No. But
But he would go to the theater and
but
watch it.
You'd be hella
if they
supportive.
release this in theaters again, I'd go see it on the big screen for the fuck of it. But that's my thing. Like, would it do well? Of course not.
Screenland Armor.
A
needs to
lot of
play.
Marvel shit's starting to not do well either. So I mean, that's besides the point. But no, I still think this is a cool movie just because it's stupid fun.
I mean, I kind of agree with it. That's why I'm kind of a slight recommend for it because it's not terrible.
Because like I could
It's-
almost go fetch,
it's
but
a-
I'm like,
it's a-
I watch this every few years. So
I don't think it's quite fetch, but it's definitely something that I enjoy, but I don't think as many people would enjoy. So I think people would have problems with it. But anyway,
just don't go into it expecting a great movie.
You wanna go?
Know that it's
I
going to be stupid.
I can go. I think we're both going to be the same, maybe.
He's one of four
For-
pages of notes.
Yeah, for me, it's I would vote it below nostalgia. For me, it's not,
nostalgia.
it's not
Wait,
mixed nuts.
mixed nuts?
No,
You call
not
this
mixed nuts. It's in between that kind of area.
So
for
it's like
me.
assorted
So
nuts?
he is part of
No,
that
he's-
internet hate.
He's trying to
Yes.
bring himself out of the dog pound from his mixed nuts
Yeah.
because he's the one who made us watch that.
I am so desperate for a worse movie than that. Show up.
I'm not sure we'll ever have a worse movie that we watch.
will.
No, it's okay. I'm happy to have
Oh,
contributed.
Yeah,
it's a
you are the
landmark
best
movie,
at
man.
the worst movie pick.
It's a landmark movie. Yet. So
So far, yeah.
So far, I got more nominations coming. So for me, in the tonal whiplash and the some of the set pieces just didn't work out for me in the movie.
Really?
Like the action set pieces, where like the bar fight or the old
flying
flight
scene, yeah.
for
Oh,
me
the flight
was like
scene, yeah.
those were supposed to be like the big deals, not the
diner.
sets. I didn't mean the sets. The set pieces,
The set pieces.
action set pieces that were there.
Like the diner was like, it
The
could have been
diner
cool,
set,
but
yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah, it didn't like really sit with me. The whole, is it like a kids movie or not, or like pick the lane, right? Is this a horror, like sex comedy, or like dark comedy?
That is not
or like
a horror sex comedy. I have never heard that genre mashup.
Well, I
before.
mean, that's pretty much American Horror Story.
yeah.
Oh gosh.
Right? Like it's, I was like, this is a PG movie. I was like, still kind of very surprised towards the end because they never really said any cuss words, honestly, but they made you think of all of them. So for me, it just didn't. It didn't land for me because I just felt like
He now knows how we all felt watching Mixed Nuts. That's where he's at.
okay,
Oof.
it's okay.
So, all right. So,
Lastly, no, I actually am not on your level there. I do want to say, though, I think you had a great back of the box quote there. There were no cuss words in this movie, but it made me think of all of them. I just want to reiterate that because that was genius.
that's pretty good.
No, I mean, for me, I want to say like there was a lot of potential in it. I think it could have been good, but it just wasn't. It was definitely nostalgia for me, and it was not fetch. I think though, like it's kind of like a guilty pleasure. In a lot of way, it could be like a cult classic, right? You can definitely have a cult following with this movie, I think, because there are aspects of it that are very entertaining. But so much of it, I think, fell flat, especially the writing and just overall the dialogue. And Yeah, I can't go anything above nostalgia here for this.
And that might be what kind of helps me with it, because like obviously there's a nostalgia factor to it because I've seen it several times since I was a kid, but I know what I'm getting into when I watch it. I know I'm watching a stupid movie that is just dumb for dumb's sake, and sometimes that's what I want to watch.
I will watch this movie again in the next few years, guaranteed.
I agree on that. And for comparing it to mixed nuts, it doesn't have like, oh, if you take some edibles or get drunk and like have a group of people you're going to make fun with, that still doesn't make except for Liv Schreiber, nothing's good in that. With this movie, I'm like, hey, if you have this gang like this and we're all drinking, I think...
And we're only half paying attention to the movie, so we don't notice the terrible pacing.
I think we would be pointing so much random shit around and like talking about it. I think you would... I get what you mean.
I agree with that. This would actually be a good movie in a group setting with some help from some booze.
Where everyone is like, hey man, this is going to suck,
I used
but
to do that with groups like every couple of months. We would all take a turn, bring a bad movie, do some drinking to pregame, and then just drink and watch the movie and make fun of it as we're watching it. I feel like this is the group to start that back up with. Just saying.
For our get together, just drink and watch
I'd be okay if that. Look at the con men are looking to expand. All of our lovely subscribers out there, look for a channel soon. Fully edited by your boy over here.
Patreon content.
Oh, geez.
So, all right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up. We got one cool, which is kind of like I won't even fight for that, even though I was nostalgic. I understand that. I'm actually on board with that. I'm also on board with everybody.
Yeah, I completely get where
nostalgic. So I think we're pretty much in agreement here. So yeah, Howard the Duck. What did you guys think about it? This is the Conmen. And we are wanting some more subscribers out there. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do it now.
Smash the like button.
Shut up.
I'm out.
The Duck.
Don't know what the rest of the words are.
I don't know the words either, but it's a good song.
Yeah, it's lived rent free in my head for so long.